Step by step me bunt farst, a man say cheeky step 60 monorolt nivy or ask you me. Always kari before a nurse or student picks up a needle or prepares a drip. The first tool that must be sharpened is the mind. A confident and focused mindset lays the foundation for every successful procedure. Skills are developed through repetition, but the desire to master them begins in thought. When you believe that what you're doing matters, when you understand the impact of your role on someone's life, you approach your tasks with greater seriousness and purpose. Doubt and fear often creep in, especially when learning complex skills like IV insertion, but it's the mindset of persistence and calm under pressure that pushes you forward. Those who succeed in high-stakes medical moments aren't always the most naturally gifted. They're often the ones who refuse to let failure define them. They take every mistake as a lesson, every challenge as an opportunity to grow. The mindset of excellence doesn't just improve technical ability, it reshapes how you respond to stress, how you treat your patients, and how you carry yourself in the medical field. The right mindset transforms a simple task into a meaningful act of care, and that internal shift is what truly elevates ordinary skill into exceptional performance. In any medical setting, patients are often vulnerable, anxious, and uncertain about what's coming next. While procedures and protocols are essential, it's the human connection that lays the groundwork for real trust. When a nurse or student takes a moment to introduce themselves, explain what they're about to do, and offer reassurance, it can completely shift the atmosphere in the room. That small effort to connect through eye contact, tone of voice, or simply listening communicates that the patient is not just a case, but a person. This connection reduces fear, increases cooperation, and fosters a sense of safety. It also makes the procedure smoother, as a calm and trusting patient is less likely to resist or react negatively. Even in fast-paced environments, taking a few seconds to acknowledge someone's humanity goes a long way. Trust isn't built through technical skill alone. It's established through presence, empathy, and communication. When patients trust you, they not only feel better emotionally, but they are more likely to follow instructions and respond positively to care. Building that connection may not be charted or graded, but it has lasting effects that go beyond the moment. It creates an environment where healing becomes more than physical. In medical practice, not everything important is immediately visible. When performing an IV insertion, there will be times when veins are hard to locate, especially in dehydrated, elderly, or critical patients. This is where discernment becomes more valuable than just visual confirmation. A trained eye is helpful, but a trained sense, developed through experience, patience, and observation, is what sets exceptional caregivers apart. Discernment means know to look where nothing appears obvious, feeling what the eyes cannot see, and making sound decisions under pressure. It requires confidence mixed with humility and a willingness to pause and assess instead of rushing into action. Medical discernment is developed not only through clinical hours, but also through mindful practice and a heart that genuinely cares about outcomes. It involves listening to what the body might be silently communicating, reading subtle signs, and adjusting technique based on what's felt rather than just what's seen. Trusting intuition backed by knowledge often leads to success where mere vision fails. This principle applies far beyond IV insertion. It reflects the deeper reality of healthcare, where seeing the unseen, anticipating the unspoken, and responding wisely can mean the difference between failure and breakthrough. Precision in healthcare is non-negotiable. Every millimeter angle, every second matters, especially during procedures like inserting an IV line. The difference between success and harm can come down to the smallest detail. But precision alone is not what defines a great nurse or medical student. When precision is paired with humility, it creates a powerful combination that elevates care. Humility reminds us that no matter how skilled we become, we are still human, still learning, and still capable of error. It keeps the ego in check and makes room for growth. A humble practitioner doesn't rush through procedures to prove something. They take their time to ensure every step is done correctly. They listen to feedback, accept correction, and remain open to learning from both mentors and mistakes. Humility also improves relationships with patients. It creates a safe space where patients feel respected, not judged or dismissed. A nurse with a humble heart will treat each case with the same level of care. Whether it's the first IV of the day or the 10th, that attitude fosters trust, strengthens professionalism, and ensures that excellence isn't driven by pride, but by purpose. True mastery in medicine isn't technical, it's deeply personal and grounded in respect. Once an IV line is inserted and the fluid begins to flow, it might appear that the job is done, but that's far from the truth. The stability is not a one-time achievement. It's something that must be maintained through constant vigilance. An IV that is not monitored can become dislodged, infiltrated, or even cause complications that harm the patient. In the same way, a stable environment in healthcare, whether it's in a hospital ward or in a patient's vital signs, requires continual attention. Vigilance means staying alert, being proactive rather than reactive, and never assuming that things will stay fine because they look fine now. It's about checking flow rates, watching for signs of swelling, assessing the patient's response. They see the strength of and being ready to intervene immediately if something goes wrong. This mindset applies beyond the procedure. It's a principle for life. The moment you stop paying attention, things begin to slip. Great nurses don't just complete tasks. They keep watching, they anticipate needs, and they act before a small issue becomes a crisis. Vigilance is a form of excellence that doesn't draw attention to itself but prevent disaster silently. It is the discipline of care that keeps both patients and practitioners safe in an unpredictable environment. Every action taken in healthcare leaves a mark, whether visible or not. Documenting a procedure like an IV insertion may seem rude, but it speaks volumes about a nurse's commitment to detail, accuracy, and responsibility. Excellence is not just demonstrated in how well the task is performed, it's also reflected in what's recorded afterward. Clear, timely documentation ensures continuity of care, protects the patient, and provides a professional record of diligence. But beyond the paperwork, this mindset of thoroughness becomes a habit that builds a legacy. Every note written, every step followed with care, every moment spent doing the right thing even when no one is watching, that's what defines professional character. Nurses and students who operate with this level of integrity create trust not only with patients, but also with peers, supervisors, and future employers. They become known for consistency, not shortcuts, for reliability, not recklessness. Over time, these patterns become a reputation, and that reputation becomes a legacy. People may forget a name, but they won't forget the way someone consistently showed up with excellence. In a field where lives are impacted by the smallest actions, choosing to operate with high standards is not just a duty, it's a decision to leave something lasting behind.